Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of the Chocolate Shake. Inshallah, today I'd like to talk about all of the hoopla surrounding our former president, Barack Hussein Obama. That's right. Mr. Obama has stepped in to some hot boo-boo and he needs to be corrected. And thank Allah Almighty, the world is correcting him. Black America is giving him the spanking he deserves. We know that right now it seems that the Democratic Party is in big trouble. So of course they're sending out the big guns to help Kamala Harris secure the victory. As you know, the Chocolate Shake doesn't believe she's going to win. I think it's a wrap for her. Trump will be president again of these United States of America. But now they're bringing out, meaning the Democratic Party is bringing out the big guns to try to, boost her up in the polls and to, get certain groups that she's getting weak with to support her. One of those groups happen to be Black American men. But now, check it. It's not just Black American men. It's also Black American women. She's sliding in the polls or have always been weak with Black Americans. So I don't know what the surprise is. Black Americans showed that we didn't like Kamala Harris when she first ran. She got less than 6% of Black support when she first ran. And I think I mentioned that in another video. Biden had 46% because, of course, he was paired with Barack Obama. People understood who he was. They felt safe with him. So Black Americans naturally went with him, thinking that maybe his policies would be somewhere near, but more liberal because of what was going on in the streets concerning the brutal beating and death of George Floyd, and how it was that you had 66 million Americans that went to the street, Black Americans, white Americans, everybody en masse went to the streets because of how the police were brutalizing and killing Black and poor people. That gave him a big boost in the polls for Black Americans because Trump was president at the time when all this was going on. And as far as we're concerned, he didn't handle it well, because we know what the police department is for most of America, right? Or why it is that it was the inceptions of it. The history of policing in America is basically wrapped around protecting rich people's property. That's all it's about, right? You bring in gangs of men with badges and guns to protect rich people's property. And that's basically all it was. And to make sure that things stayed as they were or as the rich people wanted them to be. Unfortunately, at the inception of this country, Black Americans were property. So police and Black Americans have this antagonistic relationship that goes all the way back to slavery days, right? They were the ones who made sure that the Africans stayed on those plantations, and if they didn't, they were caught and they were punished for trying to leave master's plantation. Again, Black Americans were property, and the job of the police department has always been in America to protect rich people's property. Now, when you start to hurt their property, if you start to loot, you start to burn, if you start to attack that property, it's just like attacking the rich themselves. Then they send out the police department, and the police department will do the grossest, the most grotesque brutality to the citizens right here in America. So 66 million Americans were on the street because of what happened with George Floyd. And that, of course, gave Biden that boost. So with Black Americans, of course, Biden coming in saying that he's going to, I'm going to lay down police reform. I'm going to, do all the necessary things to make sure that we don't have these police officers brutalizing Black citizens. He also said, if you put me in office, I'm going to give you your first Black judge or female judge. He told us, if you put her in office, I'm going to choose a Black woman to be my VP. And he delivered on some of that. Of course, with the police brutality, he didn't deliver on that. When he got in office, he said, I don't have time for that, right? But he did deliver for Black America. I guess he thought he was delivering something for us. Kamala Harris, who's not even Black American in the way that we understand Black Americanness. All right, but she's faux, just like Barack Obama. He was faux too. He's a black American in the sense that he might be brown in his skin complexion, and he was born on American soil. But even where he was born, that's like a colonist outpost for white folks. And by the time 10 years or so after Obama was born, they were already parceling out Hawaiian land that was still stolen and taken and swindled from the natives, and they were turning that over to white Americans. The reason why we have all these white Americans from the North American continent over in Hawaii is because they were land grabbing. They were doing what colonists do. They were running over there and trying to get cheap land in this place that looked like paradise. Our former president, Obama, his grandparents were those parts of those white colonists that ran over there to land grab. That's what that was about. And that's why he was born there. Barry. That's why Barry was born there. So again, he didn't have the blackness of the typical black American. So he's like another faux black. See, they'll choose these faux blacks because the fear is if you actually get one of those real blacks in there, more like Jesse Jackson, then that person will probably mimic or have the ideals, the philosophies, etc. of blacks like Dr. King, who came before him. Of course, when Jesse Jackson did run for president, he ran with Dr. King's program in mind, which to most of white America looks like something socialist, right? Anything to help the people looks like a socialist. And the rich have convinced their white American brothers and the black Americans now, we're on board too. We're a bunch of Negropeans ourselves, right? We emulate this white man and his philosophies. And unfortunately, the ideal of community being helped by the government, or the government is a part of the community, that we all are government, right? And the government is all of us, that the government and the people are one and the same. It's not something that's different, right? In America, it's dichotomized. The government's here and the people are here. That's unfortunate because the government, whoever governs the people should be the people, right? We, the people, we govern. That's how it should be. And we just use representatives from our government. Of course, that's how America was set up to be, I guess, in a faux way, a fake way, a phony way. But that is how, or what it is that I myself, and I'm sure vast majorities of Americans would like it to be, right? That we, the people, actually govern, as the Constitution says. But we know that that's not the case. The rich govern here, right? The rich put their sycophants and their puppets in office. They are the ones that ultimately are running this government. We put them in office, yes. And then the rich come behind us and they buy them up. That's how the process works here in America now in politics. We live in a straight up oligarchy. We may as well just go ahead and just call a spade so we can get to trying to correct it if it can be corrected, right? This is a kakistocracy. That's all this is. This is rich people and their sycophants running the whole show. We're the suckers that vote them in, and then the rich come behind them and buy them again. Okay, so now this man, Barack Hussein Obama, stands up and he criticizes black American men only. Now again, there's been a slide for the Democratic Party and black America en masse. Black women have not supported Kamala Harris the way that that black women supported Hillary Clinton or Biden or anybody else. There's been a downward slide for black Americans en masse supporting the Democratic Party. But who was taken out to be the whipping boy? Who did they extract? Who is the Democratic Party extracting out to be the whipping boy? Like they always do, right? That is the narrative. It's the black man. So anytime you go around these United States of America and you go through some southern state, it could be Alabama, one time it was Alabama, or Mississippi, Georgia, you name it. It was here in Georgia. They attacked the black men here in Georgia, where I live. Stacey Abrams, when she was running. All of these comments about black men not stepping up for black women is a play or trope on things that happened in the past. You see the black man being unsupportive of his own family is a thing in America. It's a thing, right? which is not true, but it's a trope that has been put on the black man that we're lazy, right? We don't care about our children. We don't care about morality. We don't care about being strong for others and being sacrificial. We don't care about working hard. We don't care about putting in the work to in the early days so it can deliver for us in the future. See, all of these things were taken away from us. See, somebody had to be the whipping boy in America. Somebody had to be the person that people can point at and blame. And unfortunately, even black people have now bought into this ideal that the black man isn't worth a goddamn thing. See, even black people have been convinced of this. You hear it in our women all the time. If you want to hear exactly these tropes and how it is that America has framed up the black man, all you have to do is listen to the average black woman. She's bought into that hook, line, and sinker. And I'll also say you could hear it from the elder black men. You hear that some of the elder black men, some of the younger ones are starting to figure it out, right? But some of us elder ones, those of us who were born in the 60s and 70s, see, we've heard it all our lives. We've heard it all our lives from our grandmothers. We've heard it from our mothers, right? Those people who started this cycle, first of all, this single motherhood. And this anger that comes from the black woman is also a part of the sounding, right? The sounding off of these tropes that came back out of the slavery days, right? These tropes that came back from white folks when they had to have somebody to blame when the economy went bad, right? When things didn't go their way, or some white man lost his job, or whatever the case may be. When they have to blame somebody, it's always the black man, because it's easy to blame us, right? Because black men, we understand that we're not that way, first of all. Because personally, I always say, I don't even know, I really don't know any black man that doesn't work who's healthy, who's mentally, spiritually, and physically healthy. I don't know any black man that doesn't go to work. And I'm talking about healthy in the old-fashioned way, not healthy in this little soft way that people talk about today. Oh, I need a mental health break. Oh, I got a little headache. Oh, my muscle aching my arm, my legs tired. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about black men who work like animals, who work like horses and bulls on farms to achieve the goals that they need to achieve, to make sure the lights stay on in their homes, for their children, their wives, and themselves, to make sure that people eat who are up under his umbrella, to make sure that anybody that wear his last name, and even children that don't wear his last name, children that wear the names of the woman that they're married to or the woman that they're dealing with at the time, wear that former man's name, right? We feed them. So we know that it's a lie. Again, I don't know a black man that's healthy that doesn't work. I have no clue what that, even what that is. I don't even know how that trope became real, because the black men that I know, all of them have a job. And most of them have a second job or a hustle on the side. Those are the black men that I know. And I'm with basically working class black men and poor black men. That's who I deal with. I deal with the working class and the poor working class. I don't deal with rich blacks. I'm not in the circles of rich blacks, right? I'm not in the circles with affluent blacks. So who are these black men that are not working? Who are these black men and this ideal too, that we are somehow misogynistic? We don't like women. Now that sounds so ridiculous. What black man born by a single mom, which that's 70% of us, I'm one of them. Me, I'm one of them. What black man, 70% now, probably coming straight out of the 60s and 70s, straight into the 80s and 90s, will hate his mother when 70% of us are raised in single family households? Oh my God, like they're saying out here, the math ain't mathing. What kind of sense does that make, that boys and men who were raised by single mothers will grow up to be misogynistic? What sense does that make when we see our grandmothers and we've seen our mothers actually raise us up with our fathers on the outside? Not that they didn't participate in our lives and that type of thing, but they were outside. The mothers and the grandmothers had more control of the situation. And all of the respect that I see that black men have for their mothers. I mean, we have songs all on the radio station. I'll always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. And you could go right on down the line of songs. Sadie, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Where are the songs about the daddies? If we're so misogynistic, where are the songs about our fathers? All these black men taking care of these black women all around here in the working class. And not only the ones that are our wives and lady friends, but also our chicks on the side, the ones that we have on the side. We take care of them. It's our money that take care of them. It's this body that they see on the daily, and it has contact with them and their children. What misogyny is there in the black man? Black men have female bosses on these jobs. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's always thrown in our face again by the world, and particularly black women, right? Oh, I make more money than you now. Oh, the white man let me in his job. You couldn't get it, right? So now black women have these jobs, and white women, of course, who benefited more from all the advances of black Americans and us changing laws, right, for the whole country. This is another thing. Black men fight harder than anybody else for civil rights and human rights in this country. Always have, right? Our women in tow, but we always fight harder. Of course we have to fight harder because we're the males, right? The males are always going to be the warriors. That's what's expected. You don't expect that a black woman would fight harder than her man to get civil rights and human rights. Fighting and warring, that's for men. That's what we do. And that's what we did. And so when we did that, now the biggest beneficiary of all of that work that we did to get these civil rights and human rights, and for America to respect her own constitution, the white woman is the biggest beneficiary to date for that effort. Not the black man, not the black woman, but the white woman. And now the black woman is now starting to get great gains. And that's what she should get, right? But we should too, is all I'm saying. The black man should too, because we fought the hardest for it. Now, with that being said, Obama's going to make it look like we, the black man, we hate women. You know, certain things can be said, and, you know, we can do like our brother prophet Jesus, on him be peace. You know, somebody smack you, you just say, okay, and you turn the other cheek. Not because you're a fool. You turn the other cheek because you see that person as your brother, right? And that's another thing. Jesus, on him be peace, that is Jesus the Christ out of the Bible. He wasn't saying that you should take abuse from people. That's not what he was saying. He wasn't saying that if somebody slapped your face, you just turn your other cheek to get your other cheek slapped. And that's not what he's saying. He's saying that if a person is your brother, he shares your ideals, your philosophies. He shares your God. He shares your prophets. He shares your holy book. He shares your lifestyle, right? You and he are brothers through God. Then if that person strikes you, then you turn the other cheek because you know he's your brother and you know what scale he lives on. You know his philosophies. You know how he is, how he thinks. And you know if he struck you, that an apology is coming soon. That he's going to say, brother, I shouldn't have done that. Forgive me. And it'll be a sincere apology with tears dropping from the brother's eyes because he struck you. That's what Jesus was talking about, not this foolishness that the white man tries to pawn off as the religion of Jesus, that you're supposed to sit up here and take abuse. And the white man himself, who calls himself a Christian, they don't take anybody's abuse. The slightest insult, the slightest anything you do against them, they will show you that they're very vengeful people. So Christianity that they teach, that version that they're teaching, they don't even believe in because it's unnatural. It's unbelievable, and we shouldn't believe it. So Jesus is talking about your brother in faith slapping you or harming you. You understand that he didn't really mean you any real harm, and that he'll be apologetic for that, and he'll make amends for that. So you don't want to attack him while he's at a weak point and he struck you and he harmed you or he hurt you. You don't want to harm or hurt him back because you understand that's my brother. I got to take one for the team this time. He'll come back and clean it up. That's what Jesus was talking about. So on that score, when persons like Obama and others injure us with these types of statements, then we turn the other cheek because we understand that's my brother. He ain't mean nothing by it. But now, Obama, we have to question whether or not he's our brother, because he is what you call a line crosser. He's a continuous line crosser. He's doing it all the time. Every time this man pick up the mic and he's in a group of black men, he figures he could talk down on us. Now, the first time I heard that was from the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The second time I heard it from a person who is a good friend of mine, and he was a co-owner of a business that we had together, a venture we had together. He said it years ago when Obama was president, and I ran to Obama's defense against Jesse and my partner in business. I said, no, man, he don't mean it like that. No, man, he's our brother. He's looking out. He's just trying to say X, Y, and Z. That was my position. Oh boy, was I wrong. They were right. He has a tendency to look down on black men, and his behind needs to be corrected now. We can't turn the other cheek on this one this time, Obama. We got to put our foot in your behind, because you're a line crosser, man. You are continuously crossing lines, and somebody got to correct you. So this is me and my humble attempt to correct the brother. And for those who are looking on, don't spread that idea that black men are misogynistic, because we're not. We love our women, and we love women in general. We don't have any problem with female bosses on these jobs. We don't have any problem with female scholars. We don't have any problem with female police officers. We don't have any problem with female firemen and librarians and females who get these positions where they may have to be a leader in the position. We don't have a problem with that. You know how many black men actually voted for Hillary Clinton? Are you kidding me? More black men voted for Hillary Clinton than white men. More black men will vote for Kamala Harris than white men, Indian men, and any other man, Latino men. So what is this? Why do we pull out to get the beating? And the Latino man who's not going to vote for Kamala Harris at the rates that the black man will, why they don't get the beating? Why the Jews don't get the beating? The Jewish men, they're not going to vote for Kamala Harris at the rate that a black man will vote. So why the Jewish man don't get the beating? He don't get the tongue lashing. Okay, what about the white man? What about the Indians? What about the Arabs? What about all these other people who are not going to vote for Kamala Harris at the rate that a black man will? Why they don't get the tongue lashing? Why is it the tongue lashing set up for black men and black men alone? Yeah, because we buoy the Democratic Party. The black man and the black woman is the only reason the Democratic Party can win anything in America. Although they're showing us their backside, and they're reaching for conservative whites and moving the party further and farther and farther to the right, running behind these white people and showing black people who keep them in office their backside. So I guess when they say, well, our niggas aren't coming up to do their job, so let's get the whip out and whip these niggas and get them in shape. Is that what this is, Mr. Obama? This is how you play? We playing it now? This is the game that we play for the masters? Yeah, we're going to beat the Negroes into submission and shame them with our tongue, give them a tongue lashing for the whole world to see. Now, this thing ran through not only our nation, it's all in Canada. I heard a news report that came out of Australia. They're talking about this situation by black Americans all the way down in Australia right now. That's what they're talking about on the television, on the news. This man is giving us a tongue lashing to all the way on the other side of the planet. Australians are talking about the tongue lashing that Obama gave the black American man. Yep. So you know I'm done with you, brother. I'm done with you, man. I'm done with you. You are part of them now. I'm going to let you go on over there. You are already a full black, but I fought for you, brother. I fought for you to be a part of the tribe. But as far as I'm concerned, you're gone. And I don't like your morals either. I don't like the way you threw Reverend Wright under the bus. I always tell people you threw him under the bus. Folks tried to defend you back then. I didn't defend you about that, though, bro. You threw Reverend Wright under the bus. That was a good man. He is a good man. He was one of the best things ever happened to you and your family. And you threw him under the bus so that you could be emperor over the empire. And you got what you wanted. So this is a chocolate shake and what I had to say concerning former President Barack Hussein Obama and him throwing the black man under the bus, him giving us a tongue lashing. My brother, you are absolutely wrong. You are sorry. You are weak. I'm ashamed of you, brother. And you make me now feel like I was a fool to have voted for you twice and to have protected you with my might, my main, my words, my ideals, my philosophies, and everything, my whole soul, brother. I did everything in my power for you. I really appreciated your books and your style, how you represented the black man when you had that office. But I tell you, man, you lost me, man. I'm very ashamed of you. If you like what you heard, please hit the like button. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. Y'all take care. Peace.